Hello there, this is Lee Thurburn, and I am live on livestreamlee.com. And just as an error occurred, wait a minute, let's try this again. I'm not quite sure if I'm live or not. Apricot Rocket, oh, you know what, on Facebook I'm not, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove this destination, yep. And save changes. And I think, okay, a little maintenance there while we're kind of getting connected. You know, sometimes the live stream technology glitches, and I use StreamYard, which I have found to be a wonderfully simple and powerful streaming technology. However, it does occasionally glitch out, and especially with LinkedIn. Today, apparently, I had a little bit of a glitch with connecting up to Facebook, but I stream to LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So if you're interested, if you prefer one of those platforms, I do this every day at 3 o'clock. My purpose in doing the live streams is really very simple. It's to help you learn new things, to be able to grow your business faster. And my day job, if you will, is I run a company called Apricot Rocket, which is a software platform designed specifically to help businesses get more customers, grow faster, make more money, that sort of stuff. We're a lot like LinkedIn or Facebook, only different in that we focus our attention on helping businesses build customer communities and then nurture relationships. Recently, we added cell phone technology to our app, to our portfolio of technologies, and we now actually build and distribute for people very powerful and very affordable cell phone app technology. These are apps that you can put on the Google Store or the Apple Store, and they're branded as yours, but because they're template based, they're incredibly affordable. And quite honestly, I can't imagine, most small businesses not wanting one because they're so affordable. And if you've ever looked at app prices in the past, anywhere between 3 months or, 2 or 3 years ago, you probably got quotes in the $5,000 or $10,000 range. Well, what I'm doing is I'm showing you how to build your own app. Now, I understand that you're probably not going to do this. For those of you that want to do this, it's not that hard, but I will tell you, I've spent at least a couple of 100 hours figuring out how to do what I'm doing. Now, in the grand scheme of things, a couple of 100 hours is not a lot of time, but for most people, it is a lot of time. I just happen to enjoy doing this kind of stuff. So that's why I'm showing you how to do what it is that I'm doing for clients. Now, you can go to apricotrocket.com and you can get a free account on our system. You can go to appyrocket.com and you can learn about the apps that we sell. But today I'm going to be showing you more about how to build a multi-vendor marketplace app that'll actually be very, very similar to how Etsy works. Now, before I do that, I like to always mention a couple of people that I am big fans of. One is a guy named Bob Hampton. I've bought and sold a lot of different businesses throughout my career, taken some public, taken one public, not more than one. And, I've actually benefited from the help of people like Bob. And I know Bob and I trust Bob. Bob's both a CPA and a financial advisor, and he focuses a lot of his attention on helping business owners that are getting close to the end game position their companies so that they get the maximum value and the maximum wealth out of their business when they go to sell it to the next person. Bob is a specialist and he is good at what he does. And if you have a business and you're thinking about that end game, the sooner you get in touch with Bob or a guy like Bob, the better off you'll be, because there's a lot of stuff you can and should do in advance of the end game sale of your business. So go to livestreamlee.com, click on the Bob Hampton link. You'll get information about Bob. And if you want to, you can reach out and set a time to visit with him. He's a great guy to know. So now, with that said, let's just go ahead and jump over and launch the Adalo.com app. And I'm just going to go ahead and click here. And now I just need to bring it up so I can actually see what I'm doing on screen. So we're at the stage now today where we're going to begin the process of adding shopping cart functionality to the app. Now, and I'm going to position this just a little bit. I want to give you an overview again of how the app works. These three screens right here are your entry point. The splash screen is the launch point when somebody clicks on the icon of your app on their phone, and then they either sign up or they log in, and then they go to your home screen. Now, this is a screen that is under development, but for right now, we've just got it what it is. And then at this point, they move from the home screen either to edit or view their profile. They can add products, they can view the product list, or they can edit their products. They can view a description of the product, and if they want to, they can delete a product. Now, they also can add themselves as a vendor to the vendor list. They can edit their vendor account, and they can view the vendor. You can view the vendor list, and then from there you can go to the vendor detail. So that's where we're at now. But what we're going to do now is we're going to deal with the product page, and we're going to make it possible for vendors to sell their products through a cart. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to create some new databases to be able to make this happen. So we're going to come over here to the database tool, and we're going to look at what we have in the way of databases. We've got users, vendors, and products. So a user creates a vendor account, and then a vendor creates a product account. That's basically all this app does at this point in time. But theoretically, a user could also purchase a product from another vendor. So when they do that, if you just think about the sequence of steps, somebody that's buying a product, they go to a list of products, and then somehow they select a product to purchase. And when they do that, they add that product to basically to a cart, but they have not yet checked out. So the cart is a temporary holding place for products before they actually become orders. And then orders are separate from the cart in the sense that orders represent products that are being paid for. And once a product or a group of products on an order has been paid for, then they become a historical order. But the only real difference between an order that's being processed and an order that's historical is one is not yet paid for and the other is paid for. So we're going to need two new databases. We're going to need a database for items that are in a cart, and then we're going to need a database for items that have moved from a cart into an order. And so let's go ahead and click on add a collection, and let's call this collection order items. Okay, so we're going to create a collection of data for order items. Now, we're also going to need orders, and we'll do that in just a second. But let's think about what goes into order items, okay? So order items are going to have names, which will actually be the same as the product name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, just to keep this clear, this is going to be ord item and underscore. So I'm going to name this. I'm going to name everything in the order items group with a prefix of ord item underscore. So we're going to name it. Okay, now order items relate to, so this is a relationship. Order items relate to products. So an order item and a product have a relationship. How does this work? So let's look at this first choice. A product can have multiple order items, but an order item belongs to one product. Well, that sounds actually like what we need. A product can only have one order item, but an order item can have multiple products. No, an item on an order relates to a specific product, so that's not correct. An order item can have multiple products, and a product can have multiple order items. Well, order items cannot have multiple products, so it's the first relationship. It's a one-to-many relationship. So we're going to say done. And now we're going to prefix this ord item underscore product. So this is the product in the ord item database. Okay, so we're going to save that. Okay, now order items actually also relate to a user. So we're going to add a relationship to a user. So the order items also relate to a user. So a user can have multiple order items, but each order item belongs to one user. Well, that is correct. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose that. And so now we're going to preface this with ord item underscore user. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add that. Now, order items have some other things. They also have a relationship to vendors, because if they have a relationship to the product, they have a relationship to a vendor. But since the product has a relationship to the vendor, I don't know that we need to add an ord item vendor relationship. We may come back and do that, but I don't think we're going to need to. So now let's go to add property. And what else do order items have? Well, order items have prices. Okay, so we're going to have ord item price. And that is, of course, going to be the price from the product. Okay, so we're going to have an ord item price. We also are going to have a quantity, so we're going to call this another number. So these are the type of database fields. We're going to have ord item quantity. All right, and then I think that's going to be it. We may end up having to add more later, but let's just start with that. Okay, so we're also going to have orders, but you know what? I don't know if we're going to get that far in this session. So let's just focus our attention on the ord item process. Okay, so I'm going to now come and zoom in to the product list. And so I've got the product list here. And so the question becomes, where do we choose to add the order or the product to an order? Well, we could do it right here from a product list, but for simplicity's sakes, I'm going to actually just do it over here on the product page. Now, you may have seen I went in and deleted an icon, and the reason I did is because I want to show you how I put it in. I actually was playing around with this prior to doing this live stream to make sure I had all my thoughts in place, because you know, this stuff can get a little confusing, and if you do it live, sometimes you goof up. So what I'm going to do is on this product detail page, I'm going to place a shopping cart button, which basically will indicate that you can add it to cart. Now, you could do a button like this green button that says edit products, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on the components. I'm going to scroll down to the buttons. I'm going to go to the icon, and I'm just going to grab an icon. I'm going to put it over here in the corner next to the product name. And now I'm going to change the icon graphic to cart. I'm going to pick a add to cart looking button. So we're just going to use that as our add to cart button. Now, quite honestly, I don't know that that's visible enough, that that's the kind of user interface that we want. But for right now, let's just get the functionality working. Okay, so we have a product name here, and now we have the button, and we're going to come down and we're going to add an action behind that button. So we're going to link to a button that says add to cart, or add to cart. So we don't have a cart page. Actually, we're going to link it to an order items page because that's the database we set up. So let's just call the page that. We don't have an order items page. So we're going to create a new screen. We're going to call it order items. And we'll start with a blank screen like we normally do. Now I'm going to back up, and you can see the order item screen is right here. So I'm just going to move it down here, and we're going to start sort of a new column, a new group. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just move over a little bit and kind of get this right in the middle of the screen. Zoom in one more time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a list of order items. Okay, so we're going to do another custom list. We've done this before. So we're going to go to components. I'm going to come down to lists. I'm going to come down to custom lists. I'm going to drag it in and drop it. Okay, now I'm going to tell the system that it's a list of order items, and it's all order items. Okay, so before we get, let me just move it just a little bit. Before we get too far into this, let's just double check and make sure that we're passing the correct data. So if I click on the order items label for the panel, for the screen, and I come down and I look at available data, we've got the current product being passed, right? So we clicked on a link on the current product page that we were looking at, and we've now passed it over here. So what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and lay this out. So you should be pretty familiar with this now. I'm going to go ahead and just move this over. I'm going to click the magic text button, and I'm going to do the current order item name. Okay, and we're going to do that. And now we're going to go ahead, and this one, instead of being subtitle, we're going to go ahead and put current order item price. And let's go ahead and we actually don't have an image for the current order item. Let's do this. Let's just leave that alone for the moment. Now let's see if we've set up our database connections correctly. Let's go ahead and click preview. And we're going to, I'm already logged in, so I'm going to click view products. And here I've added a few products since our last time. So look here, I've got a Porsche 911 for $125,000. So let's click on that. And now we go to the Porsche page, and you can see I've got the little shopping cart icon. I'm going to add it to the cart, and I come over here and, well, we don't have anything. Okay, so order item wasn't the correct thing to add. So let's go back over here and look at this data. So we chose something, but we chose the wrong thing. So if I go to current order item, I could go to order item name, but I come down to product and I go to product name. So what we're doing, again, if you read from the back to the front, product name of the order item product in the current order item. So we're going to choose again, current order item product name, and we're going to put in there. Now we're also going to do the same thing with price. See, it's real easy to get this stuff goofed up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to current order item product price. Okay, now let's go look and see if our data passes through correctly. So we'll start back at the home screen. We're going to view products. We're going to click on Porsche. We're going to add the Porsche to the cart, and we're going to come over here, and we still don't have it. Okay, so we're going to come back, and we're going to go to product name, and we're going to do it yet again different. We're going to do current product name, and let's do current product price. Okay, now if you think about it, the reason that it works this way is because we have not yet built any current order items. Okay, so just because we're in a order item, basically a table, if you will, a list of order items, we don't yet have any order items added because we've moved from the product to the order item. So this now should work. So let's go over and look at view products, Porsche, add to cart, and it didn't work. All right, so now I got to figure out why it didn't work. Okay, so let's look at this product name again, and let's go in here and see what other options we have. Okay, so we have current product, and let's see, vendors, users, products. These are all other things. So we're going to have current order item product, product name. That didn't do it. Now let's go to price, and let's try something different on price. Let's go to current product. Okay, we're going to go to current product price. Okay, so let's figure out what we've got going on here. Let's go to preview, and let's just try this again. This does get confusing. So we're on the product page, and we're not getting anything showing up here on this page. All right, so what I want to make sure is that I've got the correct page displaying. So we're going to go ahead and put something on here that'll at least tell us if we have the correct page. So we're going to call this, we're just putting a text field, order items. All right, now let's make sure we're displaying the correct page. View products, Porsche. Okay, so we are on the correct page, but we're not passing the correct page information along. Okay, so what's happening? Or we're not passing the correct data along. So if I come and zoom in here to this product detail, and I look at I'm linking to the order items page, and I'm sending the current product. Okay, so I'm sending the current product to the order items page. Okay, so I'm sending data from this page to this page over here. Let's just bring it up on the same level. So I'm sending it to this page. Okay, so I'm in my order items list, and let's see here. We need to create an order item. Let's try this. Okay, so we're going to come back over here, and we're going to go to this icon on the product detail page, and we're linking to the order items, but we haven't created an order item. That's what I forgot to do. Okay, so I'm going to create an order item. Okay, so now I have, that's what I forgot to do. Okay, so I'm going to create a collection. I'm going to create an order item. So the order item name is going to be the current product name. The order item product is empty. The order item user, I'm going to go ahead and make it the logged in user. The order item price is going to be the current product price. The order item quantity is empty. Okay, because, well, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it with a 1, because we're going to have to build a price or quantity adjustment functionality. So let's do that. Okay, so now when somebody clicks on the add order item to cart, they're going to have to create an order item, and they're going to link to the order items page. Okay, so now if we come over here and we drill in just a little bit on the order items page, we're going to have a product name, and let's again look at what we're going to put in here. So this time, current order item name, and that should pick up the product name. And here we're going to put in current order item price. Okay, so now we should have the price. Okay, so let's now go look and see if we passed the correct data over. View products, Porsche, add the Porsche. Boom, there we go. Porsche 911, 125,000. Okay, so now we've got our data being passed correctly. Okay, so at this point, we should now be able to add other order items to our order item list. So I'm clicking the back button on my browser. I'm going to go back upstream. I'm going to add a Land Cruiser. Now we're going to add the Land Cruiser. And here there we go. Now we've got 2 products in our order items list. All right, so we're just about done. Now, presuming that we don't need to adjust our quantity, all we have to do now is prepare a payment. So here's how we're going to do that. Adalo has a number of plugins. So I open the components menu, and I'm going to come down here to explore the marketplace. And there's a lot of different plugins that you can do, but I'm going to just kind of scroll right down because I'm looking for a particular one, which is Stripe. I think it's got a big blue graphic on it, if I remember correctly, and I might have already passed it. Nope, I did. I passed it. It's probably up here somewhere. Okay, there we go. Stripe Kit. So this is your Stripe plugin. Now, at the moment, this is the only plugin that I think they have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this plugin. This is the only payment plugin that they have. I'm going to install it. It says installed. I'm going to say done. Now over here, I've got a new section called installed. And what it has is it has 4 different Stripe options. One is Stripe payment. This is a Stripe ACH payment, a Stripe subscription, and a Stripe Connect. Now, we're ultimately going to come back and reload Stripe Connect because that's actually how you do the marketplace option. But for right now, I'm just going to add a Stripe payment over here. And we're going to start by filling in the value. So what we need to do is first of all, we're going to need to connect to a Stripe account. Now, I'm not going to do that right now because that'll be saved for something else, but you're going to have a payment amount that has to be passed. And you notice you have this little magic formula thing here. Okay, so if I click on the magic formula, it's going to give us the ability to collect data. Well, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to be able to collect the total of all of the order item prices. Okay, so if I come down here, order item price sum, this should be the sum total of all the order item prices. Okay, now I'm going to actually keep this in test mode. So I'm going to go ahead and turn test mode on. And by the way, this is where you put in publishable keys and secret keys. But at this point, test mode is turned on. So what I should be able to do is to get the price of these 2 items that I've added to the cart and check out and be able to pay for it. But I want to be able to display what that price is to people. So I'm going to add a text field here. And I'm just going to go ahead and put amount to pay, a colon, and I'm going to put in magic text, and I'm going to scroll down here to order item price sum. So that should give me the sum of all of the order item prices. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to make the number format. I'm going to change the number format to currency. So it should put $, and comma and all that kind of stuff in. And so now let's go look at preview. And let's click on view products. And you know what? I don't have any way of getting to, I didn't build a way to get to the viewing the cart other than going through here. So I'm going to go ahead and go through here and add another product. And look at there, I've got a Porsche 911, a Toyota Land Cruiser, and a Porsche 911. 125,000 plus 125,000 is 250,000 plus 67.5 is 317.5. So we've got the correct dollar amount. If I click pay now, well, thank gosh that it didn't work because I don't have that much money in my account. But the payment process is virtually instantaneous. So when you actually make this go live, you're going to want to test it and you need to know. Okay, so that's all for today. What we've actually shown you today is how to debug the database connection process. And, you know, I will confess that I do still get confused, but it's not that hard to figure out when you have the ability to go in just iteratively and reconnect things to get to, as long as you know what you want to accomplish, you can go back and check and see if in fact the data is being passed correctly. It's a pretty simple system. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump out, and I'm going to come back over, and I just want to say, before I leave today, let me turn off my little banner thing because you can't see my banner. I want to show you my cool t-shirt, and I want to point to my wonderful model over there. There we go. Got my fingers pointed the right way. I got to tell you, these are some really comfortable shirts. These are those sort of wick dry sports type shirts, and I got them from a guy that you need to know if you don't have any specially custom logoed shirts. His name is Bob Hurt. He has been in the corporate clothing business for over 50 years, and there's nobody that I've ever met that knows logo branded apparel and how to get them decorated and what's quality and great prices. Bob's your guy. If you're looking for corporate branded apparel, go to livestreamlee.com, click on the Bob Hurt button. You're going to get his name and number and all that kind of stuff. You can reach out to Bob. Bob will be delighted to help make sure that you get the best price on corporate branded apparel. Bob, thank you so much. All right, we're done for the day. I'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock, same time, same channel, and we'll continue with the development of the cart. And as we move progressively forward towards building the multi-vendor checkout process, it's getting fun. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye now.